Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into MB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight, the DNA says government is failing to protect dozens of jobs at BEC. Dangerous drug seizures on the rise. The National Trust secures nearly 24 new protected parks. Plus, as always, we check out this week's cutest kids and pets. I'm Paige McCartney. We've got those stories and more straight ahead on MB12 Weekend. Welcome once again to MB12. DNA leader Branville McCartney says the Progressive Liberal Party continues to live up to its reputation of failing to deliver on its promises. His comments came after it was reported that staff reductions at Bahamas Power and Light may be possible after PowerSecure signed the deal to manage BEC. Simone Davis has details in this report.
McCartney said the Christie administration striked again with its new deal with PowerSecure as officials of the management team revealed that there could possibly be a reduction in the workforce. McCartney said the government previously stated that there would be no job cuts at BEC, but now PowerSecure has left Bahamians unsecure.
PowerSecure has made or will make Bahamians unsecured in their employment. And that is thanks to the PLP government. Notwithstanding, but they're used to saying something today and doing something completely different tomorrow, and this is just an example.
McCartney also questioned how the government could have signed an agreement with PowerSecure in the absence of a completed business plan for the way forward for the troubled state-owned power provider.
We still don't know what the scope of their management contract is. What are they there for? What are they there to do? Ultimately, how are they going to reduce the cost of electricity?
And after being paid nearly $1 million to provide a business plan for the restructuring of the Bahamas Electricity Corporation, PowerSecure President of Utility Infrastructure Ronnie Brainin admitted last week that the firm had only submitted a 90-day draft plan for the way forward at the troubled state-owned power provider. Brainin made the revelation as the company signed a 5-year management services agreement with the government to run the Bahamas Power and Light, an wholly owned subsidiary of BEC. BPL, which is managed by a board of directors, has been mandated to reduce the cost of electricity and bring about a more reliable service. Company officials have confirmed that the management services agreement is worth as much as $25 million. McCartney said his main concern now is the BEC employees now unsure of their jobs.
It was amazing that just about 2 weeks ago the Deputy Prime Minister mentioned that they were finalizing the agreement with PowerSecure in relation to the management taking over the management company of and he indicated that they were not going to have any job losses. Well, just this week we are now learning that Bahamians will again lose their jobs.
Reporting for NB12 Weekend, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, drug operations across the Bahamas in 2015 resulted in the seizure of more than 17,500 pounds of marijuana and cocaine and led to the arrest of more than 1,400 people. That's according to police. According to statistics released by Commissioner of Police Ellison Greenslade on Wednesday, officers seized more than 1,500 pounds of cocaine, 16,000 pounds of marijuana, and 16,056 marijuana plants. As he presented those statistics, the police commissioner revealed that he is deeply concerned about the continued high demand for drugs in the country. He expressed grave concern about the percentage of young men who have been arrested for various crimes and found to be on drugs.
We also go to residences where we find men who are not employed. They're dealing in crime. Sometimes we find offensive weapons, and particularly guns, and in that house is a tearful woman, and we go, but you're in the house with the gun and the drugs and this man, so why are you now so remorseful?
He said these young men would continue to commit serious crimes and use and sell drugs if they continue to loaf around in communities with no interest in finding jobs. National unemployment was at 14.8% according to the latest data from the Department of Statistics in the reference period of October 26th through November 1st, 2015. Youth unemployment was at 30%. When asked whether police have seen a greater variety of drugs, including date rape drugs, this was the commissioner's response.
We know that we have drugs of that variety and other psychotropic substances that would be in some of our communities, but we have not been successful in finding much more than that. What I will tell you is, on the world stage, and in many countries, that's a huge problem. And a lot of these drugs are coming to market so fast because you have chemists and other people contributing to the proliferation. Everybody is not always going to be upstanding that we can't get them on a control list fast enough. And so if you were to speak to any international law enforcement agencies, or you just Google it, you'll find that there's a huge market out there for pills and rape drugs and all that kind of stuff. So do we have stuff here like that? Yes, we do. I'm sure we do.
According to crime statistics, most of the marijuana was seized on New Providence, Andros, Bimini, and Ragged Island. Many of the marijuana plants were found on Marsh Harbor, Grand Bahama, and Andros. Just last week, authorities found a combined 281 kilos of suspected cocaine worth around $5 million during separate operations on Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Matthewtown and Nagua. While police say a man is in serious condition in hospital after he was stabbed with a screwdriver, reports are that just before 2 this morning, the victim and his 2 friends were involved in an altercation at a club on Madera Street that led to him being stabbed with a screwdriver. The victim was rushed to hospital where he remains in serious condition. In more news from the police, 2 men are in custody, and police say one of them is suspected to be responsible for a number of stolen vehicles. The other was arrested for stealing. Reports are that shortly after 9 a.m. on Friday, officers from the Southwestern Division, acting on information, arrested a man who was wanted for questioning in connection with a number of stolen vehicles. Then later that afternoon, just before 5 p.m., officers acting on information went to a bank located on Carmichael Road where they arrested a man who attempted to cash a stolen check. Investigations into all of those matters continue.